Iceland's choice for Liverpool 2023 is Diljá with her song Power. It's a very up-tempo, energetic number, but does she have the power to make it through to the grand final? Let's review Eurovision. Iceland's had a pretty good run in the past few years. They had two pretty smack bang perfect entries, actually three if you include 2019, in the form of Daddy Freyr. Last year they made it to the final, finished in the bottom five, but hoping to move Iceland back up the rankings is Diljá. She's very young, not massive musical experience, not many songs released before, but she is going to Liverpool with power. Here's a little snippet. All right, that was Power from Iceland. What do we think of it, Emily?
I like it. I have concerns as to how the live performance would go. I think I like the kind of the studio version probably more than I'll like the live performance. But it's very radio friendly. It gives to me it kind of sounds like maybe like 2012 DJ pop. So it's giving me Running, it's giving me Afterglow, it's giving that those kind of song vibes. It's what I think after last year, I'm just surprised that Iceland have sent such an upbeat song. I think after last year, I was like, oh my god, we're going to get this kind of all the time. I really like it. I do have concerns about whether it'll sound as good on stage as it kind of does on the studio version, but I like it.
Yeah, I do like the studio version. It's one of the first that I downloaded this year and I added to my Spotify playlist. So I do enjoy listening to it. It does stand out for me because there's nothing else quite of this ilk. And you're right, it is sort of 2012, 2013, that sort of vibe, which I do quite like. It's nice and energetic. The energetic sort of boils into slight chaos, though, when it's performed live. The national final performance, I mean, to say there is staging is a bit of an overstatement. It's just her with some screens around her, faffing about and singing it quite energetically. There's nothing that much to it. And I'm not saying you need to airlift a gimmick into it or something, but it just feels quite untamed. And I don't know whether that's because it's quite a hard song to stage, or whether that's just because she, having not done that much sort of musically before, she's not released that many songs. It just comes from lack of experience, and there's a frantic, frenetic energy that I think boils over into off-putting rather than intense. I do like the meaning of the song though, that sense of you're freeing yourself from somebody because you're just over it. You're saying I've got no power. They've got no power over me anymore. I'm my own person. I'm going to do what I need to do. That message I like, but where my problems lie are in the live performance. And hopefully by the time it's in the second semi-final and they perform at Liverpool, they've reined in that unbridled energy and it becomes a bit more focused, because it's a little bit scattershot at the minute, in my personal opinion. So it's performing in the second semi-final. Do we think it's going to make it out of that second semi-final? It does have a friend in that second semi-final in the form of Denmark. They often vote for each other quite a lot. Is that going to help it out? And what do we rank it out of 10?
I think, yeah, you're completely right about the kind of worry that it strays into chaos. I think if it stays on the right side of that line, it should qualify, because it is kind of different compared to what we see otherwise in the contest. And it is, yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I like it quite a bit. So I'm manifesting that it'll qualify. If the vocals and it goes chaotic, then maybe less so. But then again, if televote, I feel like it's much better that this is televote for kind of a song like this than it would be for the juries, because juries are going to kind of pick up. They're not going to give points for chaos and slightly dodge vocals, whereas I think public might kind of overlook that. So I'm manifesting a qualification. For me, it's a 7 out of 10. So yeah.
Very positive by and large. I'm not saying the vocals are. I'm going to slightly pull you up on that. I don't think the vocals are dodgy. I think they're just passionate and unrestrained rather than.
Okay, but then passionate and unrestrained can stray into dodgy.
And that is the risk. And I think maybe on the whole, the staging is a little bit dodgy and a little bit frantic. So I hope they, yeah, as I say, narrow it down. They really concentrate on what they're trying to get out of this, because then I think it stands a chance of doing all right. If they were to take the national final staging and put it on the Eurovision stage and just not change that much of it, I don't think this would go through, unfortunately. Because it's just it's a lot. It's a lot without doing anything, if that makes sense, because there's nothing, it's not flashy, there's not pyro or anything, it's just intense. And I think it's going to put more people off than it'll draw in. So I'm inclined to say it won't qualify, but I would very much welcome its presence in the final on Saturday. But if it does make it there, it'll be a sort of last year sort of result where it ends up in the bottom 5, I suspect. I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10. Because yeah, I do enjoy the studio version of it, and I think it's a solid choice. It's far from my least favorite Icelandic entry, so I like it enough, and I'd like to see it there on Saturday. They just need to narrow it down a bit.
Yeah, just rein it in a little bit. Yeah, wow. Oh, you've frozen.
You've frozen too. I think that might be on your end. This is ominous. I will hopefully. Yeah,
I've frozen.
Maybe this is not frozen. I think it's your end that's frozen because I can't see you at all. I'll finish this one off in that case then. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get notified every time we upload new content. We're also on Instagram at Eurovision, and we're in podcast form as well. If you want to not experience this sort of level of glitchiness, do give us a listen there at some time. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.